New at 6 o'clock, with the rise in artificial intelligence, there are now concerns college students are using it for homework. Of course, the subsequent question, Paula, is how can you tell?
In tonight's Question Everything, WBZ's Kristina asks, how are colleges handling students' use of artificial intelligence in schoolwork?
Have you ever used AI to do an assignment?
Yeah.
Artificial intelligence, a futuristic concept imagined in movies from decades back.
Right now, we're inside a computer program.
Is it really so hard to believe?
It's real life now, and generative AI is a tool embraced by many students.
I sometimes use it as a good background resource to give me information on a subject.
It's sort of like having a rubber duck to bounce ideas from.
A recent survey by the organization Best Colleges shows that more than 56% of college students report having used generative AI on an assignment. In fact, AI tools have become so accessible that I actually created this stand-up using the technology in less than 5 minutes.
All right, let's take this back out to real life now. While that lady may look like me, she certainly doesn't sound like me. And that's because it wasn't me. I used an online AI tool to create that stand-up. And while it's not perfect, it's an example of how advanced this technology can be. AI can write entire college essays or legal briefs. So we wanted to know how our local universities are tackling the technology.
It's very, very fast moving, and higher ed traditionally moves at a much slower pace.
At first, schools used their plagiarism policies with AI, but now with its growing popularity, professors at Babson College are embracing the technology.
And they're doing things like having students use ChatGPT to learn how to write better or augment their work, but they're also doing some really innovative work around building new products with things like DALL-E, which does image generations.
But there's no formal policy yet, something the school hopes to change by the end of the year. Some considerations at play: making AI use professors' choice, allowing its use with proper credit, encouraging or forbidding AI, or allowing it for only some assignments. The biggest risk, that students won't learn information for themselves.
AI is a great tool to augment the work that you do, but humans have to check it. If we don't check the output that AI is generating, then we're not using it properly.
This is a challenge seen at UMass Amherst as students try to fact-check sources generated by bots.
We have seen that our library has received more requests for interlibrary loans for books or journals that don't even exist because somebody looks at a reference that was generated by a generative AI model.
UMass currently recommends that all faculty include an AI policy in their syllabi.
Generative AI models are not going to go away, and I think the important thing is that we create awareness on our campus what they can and cannot do.
Listen, I don't claim to be any AI expert, but big picture, there's two kinds of AI. Open AI, and that's what we know traditionally, ChatGPT, things you can just search on the web. And then there's closed AI, a version that protects your data, and one that many colleges are looking at for its administrative functions.
Companies like Samsung, who've already lost intellectual property from employees using open AI, is not a great thing. And so that's why we're looking at more of a closed AI strategy for our more sensitive and secure data.
So with privacy and academic integrity top of mind, students and schools venture into the future of learning.
I'm majoring in AI actually at MIT.
They've mentioned it in a few of my classes.
It's also really good for research and, putting new knowledge into my reports.
I think that it should be a research tool, and I think it can be very helpful there. I don't think it should be used to write essays, as I think that's plagiarism in a sense.
We marveled at our own magnificence as we gave birth to AI.
In Boston, Kristina, WBZ News.
Ooh. It's a challenge of our time, and the next generation is going to have to deal with this. I think of all of the items that the schools were considering, the one thing they should not do is forbid it.
It's true.
You can't hold back that tide.
The large language models are going to become so sophisticated, it's going to be unavoidable. It's going to be like having a kid use a calculator during math, right? They need to know how to use it, and they're just going to have to prove they know how to use it.
Absolutely.
Well, if you have a question you want answered, let us know. Send an email to questioneverything@cbsboston.com.